My name is William Olson, and for my portion of the project, I manage the Facebook webpage. The main purpose for the band's Facebook page is to keep the fans informed with upcoming events as well to promote the band. Using Facebook, you can reach a vast amount of people through how many ever likes you have on the fan page. So if you have a certain amount of likes on your fan page, that shows you how many people have liked it, which in turn, those people's personal Facebook pages, their friends will see that you've liked it as well. Functionality. Facebook's functionality is very useful. Nearly everyone has a Facebook page, so it's very easy to access the fan page, which enhances the functionality of the very page. It's very easy to use, and it's a great tool. Your use and intended users. There are many different uses for the Facebook page. The main use is to post links to various web pages that are selling tickets to our shows, videos from our shows, to post pictures of fans, and just to show people what our band's all about. Facebook allows you to spread the word about the band with ease. I found Facebook to be a great resource for helping reach new fans along with building strong relationships with the current fans you have. Facebook allows many regular fans to contact the band directly and have personal conversations with them through posting on certain different posts the band has and commenting on it, and you can comment back and have conversations with them. Evaluation recommendation. As I stated previously, I think using a Facebook fan page is a great way to spread the word about your band, and it also helps build relationships with your fans. I would definitely recommend using it, as well as maybe investing in the package through Facebook fan pages, which allows you to promote your page through various demographic specifications of your choosing, which in turn helps you access a specific target market.
One of the e-tools that we were required to use was Blogger. It's an online diary that allows you to connect with your audience by relating stories or information that are relevant to your business. The purpose of Blogger is that it's a means to publish stories or information about a person, a group of people, an entity, or a business to generate interest and keep people informed while connecting on a personal level. Blogger usually targets an audience or customers that are already unique to that business or entity, and it uses advertising, social media links, and word of mouth to drive traffic. How we personally use Blogger was we use it to describe the band and its members by telling unique and interesting stories. Our intended targets were existing and potential fans. Blogger keeps existing fans engaged while piquing the interest of people who may be unfamiliar with the band. As I said before, social media is the easiest way to drive traffic. My evaluation of Blogger is that at first glance it's fairly easy to use. Anybody who is unfamiliar with code layout web design can still blog easily, and the simple layout makes navigation effortless. However, with that being said, there were no templates to choose from, and customization was limited, and the long URL address may drive away business. The URL was datarehab.blogspot.com. I believe that it would be more professional to use a different website, perhaps one which is a code-driven web design, and if you have an internal IT department, it should be no problem for them, or you could hire an outside web designer to do it, where you pretty much just write the stories and then they'll put it in on the website. Perhaps using a website that has full customization, such as color, layout, and general design, and then link it with your other business entities, such as your company website, YouTube, and Twitter accounts.
Here you see a couple screenshots of our YouTube account. The first on the left is our channel feed, and the one on the right is an example of an individual video page. For us, YouTube was an absolutely essential tool because our business was a band. Our primary product was the music. So something like YouTube allows us to share that product directly with our fans. We also featured a couple of commercials to showcase merchandise, and we used our channel feed to announce new products and albums. YouTube itself functions in a couple of different ways. Of course, it's a hub for sharing original video, but it's also a video editor in and of itself. You can use a very simple video editing tool to create image slideshows using your own images or stock photography. You can upload audio and video clips or use audio that YouTube provides. Now the selection's limited, but there's actually a decent variety to choose from. There's also several free and paid video creation services that integrate directly with YouTube. So you can create the video in their software, and with one click, it's on your YouTube page. And of course, the YouTube content, once it's on there, is very easily shared across multiple platforms. You'll see on any individual video page at least a dozen icons that allow you to share to Facebook or Twitter and a variety of others. We shared 3 videos, and we primarily promoted them on the other social media platforms as opposed to within YouTube, which is kind of a trickier proposition. The first video that we did, we made entirely in Windows Movie Maker and just uploaded it. That was a very simple process to get it onto YouTube. We were able to add descriptions and tags, categorize the video, and then after publishing, share it to our Facebook and Twitter followers. We also did an internally created slideshow. That was easy to put together, but again, very limited in personalization options. You can do image transitions, but not any kind of custom effects. And you can add text, but if you want, for example, a banner that stays present throughout the entire video, you actually have to create the video and then go into a separate section of the Creator Studio to add an annotation that'll persist for the duration of video. The last one that we did was made in Powtoon, which is one of those free or you can pay to upgrade to the premium services that publishes directly to YouTube for you. That was probably the easiest and was the most customizable. Of course, there are more complicated tools that you could be using. Flash would be one example where you can really get deep into detailed customization, but this had a lot of really neat templates and animations that you could use and kind of just drag and drop to create the video. Now, YouTube has a variety of very detailed analytics that you can get into, and it really lets you see your most effective promotional efforts. This first example, this graph, indicates that the highest number of views was on February 19th, and that actually coincided with us sharing our most recent video on our Facebook page. You can also break down that graph into even more details to get additional insight. These additional data here were taken from our traffic sources graph, and that graph shows us where our viewers are finding the content, where they're viewing the content, and it appears as though they're mostly viewing it directly on our YouTube channel page. So now you put these 2 bits of information together, and we see that our efforts would probably be best applied to further developing our YouTube channel and then sharing that to things like Facebook, things like Twitter. And YouTube is an invaluable tool for any kind of a media-centered business. It has applications for a goods or a service-centered business too, but those applications are more readily apparent with something like ours. It's the premier method of reaching listeners and viewers with our primary product, which, as I said, is music. Now, while YouTube's saturation potential and highly detailed analytics are on point, I did find that the built-in editing tools and the interface itself leave a lot to be desired. For example, the editing tools are so simple that they would probably only be useful to someone with no experience in video editing. The drag and drop format is really easy to use, but I would say if you want a higher level of customization, you should use an external software and then just upload it to YouTube. I also found that the Creator Studio layout is pretty muddled and disorganized, and I really think that this is at least partially because of the integration with Google+. There were a number of times when I would click on a link or a profile picture thinking I was going to our YouTube channel, and I ended up on the Google Plus profile. So that was a little frustrating. Now, that being said, the integration with Google Plus is actually essential for certain YouTube features. For example, on the annotation section of the Creator Studio, you can link a video to another website. So when someone clicks on your video, they go somewhere else. Now, the only way that you can make that somewhere else your company page is if you claim that company page on your Google Plus profile. This involves editing code and waiting a certain period of time, sometimes 48 hours, and only then can you create an external link in your video. So it's a little bit too complicated for my taste, but of course you've got to go through it to get some of those more advanced features out of YouTube. That could be really useful. And then the last thing, I found really no cohesion of functionality across features. While the video editing tool is real simple, drag and drop, setting up your actual YouTube channel was sort of more like a Facebook timeline, only with a lot less options. So either of those ways is fine, but it would be nice to have it sort of uniform across the board when you're trying to use the YouTube platform.